In this video, we're going to be taking a look at creating a 3D model from an SVG file that we created in Inkscape. Now, if you want more information about how to create SVG files with Inkscape in a very specific way that makes 3D modeling here in our slicer really an easy process, then we will have a separate video on that process, and I'll link to that video in the description below. But what I really wanted to show you is once we have our SVG file in just a certain way, we could pop it in here to your slicer and create your 3D model very, very quickly and easily without using any 3D modeling software. Now, yes, sometimes it is wise to use 3D modeling software, but other times, like in this particular case, there's really no need for it. So it makes the process, in my opinion, a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and import the artwork in question here, and we'll show you how to create this. So we're going to go in and open up our display shelf SVG, and this is what we created in Inkscape. Pretty simple parts. We're going to right click here and we're going to choose to split, and we're going to split to objects. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add another build plate here because we don't have quite enough room. Let's go ahead and select these pieces and just slide them over. We're going to set the height of those to be 244. Our total finished display shelf is going to be 8.5 inches wide. All right, so then back over to our first build plate, we'll shift click all of these, and then we will right click and we will choose to merge those into what they call an assembly. Assemblies are really important. You should watch all the videos you can on assemblies and your slicer, because the more you know about assemblies, the easier it is to be able to make your edits and build your models just that much easier. So let's go ahead and we're going to copy, Control-C, Control-V to paste, and then let's flip this bad boy around. So we're going to go to rotate. We're going to rotate in the Y direction 180 degrees. Okay, excellent. And then we're back over here. So let's just start with the left side. We're going to alt-click our left side, and we're going to make it 6 millimeters thick. Okay, and then we're going to go here in the assembly, select this one, Control-click, Control-click, Control-click. So we're going to go right here, Control-click, Control-click, Control-click. We're going to set these pieces to red because I just want to show you something here. So we just hit the 4 key on our keyboard to do that. And what I want to show you here is that the left side here, you can see it's elevated. It's sitting above the build plate. So let's fix that. We're going to alt-click. We're going to go to the Move tool. And that Z value under the world coordinates should be 3, not 5. Now you can see it's sitting on the build plate. So it's always, if you want something to sit on your build plate, it's always half the object's thickness. So the left side is 6 millimeters, half of 6 is 3, and so therefore now it's sitting on the build plate. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and select these other pieces. Remember, we have to use our control click to select multiple pieces, and then we're going to move those into Z 3 millimeters, half of the thickness of our left side there. Okay. So now we've got that, and what I want to do is take those 3 red pieces and cut a channel into my left side that our shelves will fit into. So let's go ahead and select that. Let's go to Mesh Boolean, and you can see we have those 3 pieces highlighted here under subtraction, and then this piece over here on the left. So let's go ahead and choose Execute, and you can see that now we have those 3 millimeter channels. Now, I made this in such a way that these shelves will definitely fit into that channel. They're not going to fit in there super, super snug, but pretty close to it. Now, I could have, if the purpose for this shelf was meant to come apart and put together, then we could have made that tolerance even tighter so it was more of a snap fit, right? But in this case, I'm assuming that it's meant to be together all the time, okay? And we could put a little bit of glue in these channels, and I like the Gorilla Glue Clear. I'll link to it in the video description below, so you know what I'm talking about. It's a little what I would call messy. It's thick glue, but I tell you what, it really does hold parts together quite well. So if you don't have a better glue to use, I really recommend that one. All right, as long as you're not trying to glue real fine parts together. This would probably be okay, but anything smaller than that, no, because that glue is the viscosity is pretty thick. All right, so let's go ahead and take care of the right side. We basically have to repeat the whole process all over again. So let's go ahead and alt-click our right side here. We have to set the Z thickness to 6. Okay, and then we'll go back to our move tool and the world coordinate to 3. Okay, and then we will select that and that and that. Let's go ahead and give it a color, even though we don't really have to. And then we'll say we're going to move that up 3. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and perform our mesh boolean. So you can see we have the 3 pieces, our green that we want to cut away. We have our blue piece. Excellent. Let's go ahead and execute. And boom, we ran into a problem. You see that? It took care of that, but it didn't take care of the other pieces. Now, fortunately for us, that's an easy fix. But if you don't know how to do it, it can become very frustrating. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our assembly again and right-click, and we're going to choose to tell Bambu Studio whatever's wrong, make it right. Okay? So it's going to go through, take a look at that, and hopefully that fixed our issues. Hopefully. So back to Mesh Boolean. And yes, we have the same 3 pieces over here to the right, 1 piece to the blue. Let's go ahead and choose execute. And you can see now we have yet another issue because yes, it took care of the other 2, but now the one, it broke that one. So let's back up again and I'll show you. Sometimes it's a little bit goofy, but we're going to alt click here, just that one piece, and say, well, please fix that piece for me. Okay, now, if we select everything, now it should be okay, hopefully. And no, it's not. That piece, apparently, it didn't like that. So let's do this. Let's see if we can fix it again. We'll fix the whole thing again. That's the only way I know to fix this. And like I said, sometimes that Mesh Boolean tool can be a little bit frustrating here. So let's do it again. We're looking for all 3. Hey, there we go. We got all 3 that time. Excellent. So there you go. So now we have our left and right sides. We've got our groove cut. We've got our secondary build plate to print our shelves and the rod that goes here. I threw that rod in there because I thought it might be useful to like display stuff. Bracelets or whatever. And just as an idea, thinking outside the box here. We could have had this one hole all the way through, right? And then we could make our rod a little bit longer. So if we wanted to set this up for bracelets, for example, we could have this rod go all the way through the model, and then if somebody wanted a bracelet, we'd be able to remove the rod entirely to get to the one bracelet that they wanted to hang. So there's all kinds of things you could do if you just think about it all. And yeah, I mean, the options are really unlimited once you understand how your slicer works, how you can utilize Inkscape to create your various components and be able to create a 3D model of whatever you're looking to create. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it got the gears turning a little bit to, hey, maybe I need to check out this, because I tell you what, creating 3D models like this is pretty easy. I've never seen a more easier, straightforward way to create 3D models than using Inkscape and your slicer. So until next time, thanks for watching.